Don't nobody tell somebody loves you. Don't nobody tell somebody cares. You may be the king, you may possess the world as gold. How the gold won't bring you happiness when you're growing old. Yeah, the world still is the same. You never change it. As sure as the stars shine above. Oh, you know it till somebody loves you. So find yourself somebody to love. Hit it, Larry. You may be the king, you may possess the world and its gold. How the gold won't bring you happiness, how you grow well. Yeah, the world still is the same, you never change it. As sure as the stars shine above. Oh, you know until somebody loves you. Find yourself somebody to love. Thank you. You're wonderful.
We got Mark Edward Willows on the show. Hey, Mark, are you there, pal?
I am there, Dean. Oh my God, I do not believe this. I am talking to Dean Martin. Actually, I am talking to Felix Deneau, and I love his name. And he is a Dean Martin tribute artist. And
I certainly am.
Dean, welcome to the show. And I see you have your food with you for the evening.
I do. It's, this is the first drink with my right hand today.
Oh,
Hey, yeah. Can I do a little toast for you?
yes, absolutely.
Oh, here we go. Here's to all the virgins. Thanks for nothing.
Salute, right?
Salud.
Okay, Dean, I want to ask you the first question. You have a
Yeah,
very, very exciting career and interesting and very unique. And I sort of want to start with how all of this began. I know you are originally from Minneapolis. And tell us,
boy, you're smart.
yes, and tell us how.
By way of Steubenville, Ohio, though.
Oh, how did all of this come about?
Well, I was lucky enough to be able to see all of the original shows, from the Ed Sullivan Show, Jackie Gleason Show, of course, the Dean Martin Show. And I sat on my father's lap to watch the Dean Martin Show. It was a highlight of the evening, and it was just a lot of fun. He brought on all these celebrities, had a lot of fun. He was easygoing, the king of cool. And I thought, hey, I have a talent for mimicry and impersonations. Richard Little was up and coming at that time. And I was able to do about 100 and some odd voices at that time. And I was lucky enough to just click in with Deneau and learn from Sinatra and Bing Crosby. The Mills Brothers was a big influence on his own style. He kind of went for that route. And I just kept collecting all of his reprise records and Capitol records. And I went from there. And I kept singing like him. I kept mastering my art. And then before you know it, I'm here today.
Yes. And did you come down on the sofa to the Gold Diggers when they says, come on down, Dean?
Oh, I did. I believe I sent you some video with the original Gold Diggers. I had a photo opportunity with them, and they still look hot today.
They'll look fabulous. Now, you grew up watching all of these fantastic shows. I mean, basically icons. All of these gentlemen are icons in the entertainment industry. Now, you actually went to Vegas, saw Dean's show, and what happened from there?
Well, let me tell you, Mark, I had joined the Navy after I won a bunch of talent shows in high school and in Minneapolis and St. Paul. I went out to San Diego. Actually, I went out to Guam, and they brought me back to San Diego. And I still wanted to do my thing. And the Navy was gracious enough to let me actually do some talent shows. And then I represented the West Coast plus Hawaii. And then it went on to USO tours. And I won a bunch of stuff. And I won these huge plaques. And they kept me from a couple operations. They don't normally do that. But the Admiral was like, we're going to let him win some North Pacific and South Pacific tours for us and let him do his thing. And I won that. But on my weekends on Liberty, Mark, I would go up to Las Vegas. I would check the sheet because we had a wonderful program there where you could actually see who's going to be in Vegas. And I would eye it and make sure that I could be there with Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra. And I went up there, and I was losing from some blackjack and whatever. This is a true story. I was down to my last few bucks, and I put it all on red, and I won enough to see Dean Martin's show with the Gold Diggers. And I was actually dressed almost like this, but I had an old uniform. They don't have it anymore, but my dress uniform was like this, like a tuxedo, and I had my ribbons. And they brought me in right up close by the stage, and I was so excited. And he had a lull in the show, and I said, "Mr. Martin," and I stood up, and he said, "Yeah." He says, "I'm your biggest fan. I know you've heard this before, but I've collected all your albums, and I do a wonderful impersonation of you." The fellows from the USS Ajax, that's the ship I was on, they put me up to a bet, and they said, "I bet you won't go up there and meet Dean Martin," and I sure as hell did. And he was so nice and so gracious that I shook his hand. It was a big pear bear paw in my hand, and my body just left me. I was like, "Am I really doing this? This is amazing." He brought me up there. I did an impersonation with him, with Ken Lane. Ken Lane wrote actually "Everybody Loves Somebody Sometime." He was his musical orchestra and conductor for many years at not only on the Dean Martin show, but also Vegas. And he turned to me and he said, "Well, that's pretty damn good, kid." A true story.
Wow, and a career was born.
How's that?
A career was born, right?
It was just a highlight. I wish I had an iPhone, I told you, to document this, but at least I showed you my glory signature wall with James Cagney,
Oh yes,
Dean Martin, Jerry Lewis.
very impressive.
Yeah,
Very impressive. Now, let me ask you this. Why did you choose Dean Martin? I mean, you've watched, Jackie Gleason, all the other shows. What was it about Dean that caught you? Now, I mean, granted, you look very much like him and your mannerisms, everything, but was that one of the reasons, or what made you choose Dean Martin?
I just had a really great time. I'll be honest with you. My father looked like Dean Martin himself. And then with my hair, the way I am, and the way that Dean gave me compliments. And there's another story about his daughter up in Steubenville, Ohio in 2009. I picked it because I could actually get all of his small nuances of his numbers. And there's another story on that on all my gigs. When I've been doing gigs, as I get older, people have said that I look more like Dean because I'm getting older, but that's okay. That's nice. But they've actually come up to me and they got real mad. they get mad at my manager or mad at me, and they said, "You're lip syncing to Dean Martin," and that used to offend me, but now my manager has indicated, no, take that as a compliment. So that's not bad.
And let me ask you, after, of course, meeting Dean, you also auditioned for Walt Disney, which is something you're doing today, performing at the Universal Studios. What made you audition for Walt Disney?
Disney was up in Minneapolis, and I went up there to do my impersonations as Rich Little. And, you know, this is funny, Mark, because I'll tell you, I did my impersonation act, of which I got very well known up there. Tom Arnold was up there. I headlined before he was at the Comedy Store up there in Minneapolis, and they picked me up right away. Changed my whole life. I had a rough time because my father was a fighting CP in World War II, and he had gotten cancer. He was a smoker. He smoked the same cigarettes as Dean, Kent cigarettes, and he was on his way out. But it was a bittersweet year. He was passing away. I got on stage for one of the shows that I was doing at Disney MGM Studios. I had to get on a flight to say goodbye to my dad. Now, I don't want to, you know, that was a very tough flight. But I was very blessed to get my start there, because I interviewed, oh my goodness, Florence Henderson, Phyllis Diller, George Burns, Audrey Hepburn, Bob Denver, Harvey Korman, many stars, Lauren Bacall. Just it went on and on. But we had it was called the Star Day program, Mark, and you had to spend the day with them in their trailer to ask what they wanted to talk about, what they wanted to do. Cesar Romero, who was in Oceans with them, and you know, it was just a real treat to do all of these things and meet all these stars. Bob Denver, you had
I had his wife Dreama on the show.
Yeah, and it was just amazing, really, truly amazing.
And what was it like for you to meet these people? You know, believe it or not, I've met some of them too. I've met Phyllis Diller. I mean, she just blew me away by her persona in real life as opposed to the stage. What was it like for you meeting, though, all these people?
It was surreal, but they respected me, and we had to keep it very professional, because they would do the imprint on the recreation of the Grauman's Chinese Theater. And I was just in awe. I was also just kind of excited to get a chance to talk. I mean, there's some other little bit of stories that I can't tell on this show, but
I'm sure.
know, Florence Henderson she was a cracker. I'll tell you that much. She was a fit. Oh boy, she was a spitfire. I'll tell you that much.
Oh yes, I had the chance to interview her many years ago, and yes, spitfire would be the word to describe her. I mean, she was even off the wall for the interview. Now
she would do that.
Yes. Now let me ask you this: when you do your show on stage, what are people expecting to come and see? I mean, is it the typical Dean show, the singing, the Rat Pack? What's in the show?
Well, as you know, I'm doing the show in Valparaiso,
yes,
at the Opera House, and been lucky enough to actually get invited, but it kept being postponed of the current circumstances. But a lot of them, you know, they want to see me before I hit the stage, and when I hit the stage, it's like the wow factor. They go, ooh, wow, and that's kind of exciting. But they want the true Dean Martin. They don't want anything else. That includes not only my recreation of the Dean Martin show, and I do skits and comedy just like him. And I do the Rat Pack show. I do a Frank and Dean show. I do a Dean and Marilyn show. So I change it up, and I just have a lot of fun, because a lot of fun with doing this character, doing this persona that's bigger than life. You got to admit, there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, absolutely not. And like I mentioned early on in the show, Dean's an icon. And I mean, you are basically doing an icon, and that is something that the public wants. Now, tell me also this, I believe in 2009, you were recognized personally by Dean's daughter. Tell us about that.
I was very blessed on that. And that came as a kind of almost a challenge. I'm not going to mention who said, well, I'll just say that, oh, you look like a nice guy in a tuxedo, but you don't look or sound like him. And I said, oh, really? And I said, well, I took this as a challenge. I'm not going to mention him or whatever. Anyway, so I flew up to Steubenville, Ohio by way of Pittsburgh. And I got there, and my goal was to win the talent show. And I sure as hell did. And I got in a Cadillac. Deneau Martin and John Griffith were there, and it was something. I'll tell you, it was wonderful, and I won it. I sang for all the people in the town, and got the oohs and ahs. But it's an experience that I'll never forget. And I was in the room with Deneau Martin and with John Griffith before I went on, after I won the whole thing. And I just chatted with her. And I don't know if I told you this, Mark, but she got up suddenly, and I was puzzled, and she had to go out. And I said, John, what's the matter? She said, you remind her too much of her father.
Wow, what a compliment.
It is, but you don't want to feel too bad with.
Yeah.
But how would you feel if somebody would look just like your father?
Oh yeah, exactly. I can imagine what she thought. I mean, it was just like probably looking at the clones. So yeah, she probably got emotional.
Well, that's a nice compliment. Thank you.
Yes. Now let me ask you this. Out of
Yes,
all
sir.
the songs you perform, whatever of Dean's, what is your favorite?
I like to sing some songs from the Reprise collection that a lot of people don't, request. I'm going to always have to do the Amore, Everybody Loves Somebody Sometime, but I get a big kick out of doing one of a number that Frank Sinatra had, Bad Bad Leroy Brown, and he gave it over to Dean to do. And he did, actually, they did a show in Westchester, New York, and sold out the place. So, and I like to do numbers that challenge me. I love to do the Vegas number where I love Vegas in the summer, I love Vegas in the fall, that one. But Dean was he was a lot of fun with a lot of the songs. He would put a twist on them and make people laugh, and that's what he loved to do. I like to do the same thing. I don't know, we're kind of almost simpatico. I like to watch the Westerns. I do skits. I do the Rio Bravo song with what I had on, and I'm very particular. I watch him and study him very closely because you know why?
Yeah, he did have a way, just like you says, he put a spin on things. It just came to mind the Christmas song, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, how he changed it to old Rudy. See, he had his way of just,
Rudolph,
yes,
yes, had a very
yes, he had his style of doing things. Now, you perform naturally, Dean, on stage. Do you live, Dean, off stage?
I do not. I do not all the time. I play a number of characters at Universal Studios. I've been blessed and worked there for 31 years. I believe maybe your producer has seen me, but I do. I'm very proud to do Doc Brown from Back to the Future, Popeye. I've done Charlie Chaplin when they had them there, Stan Laurel, Humphrey Bogart at one time, Jerry Lewis. So I've been gainfully employed by them, but they also took care of me when we had a lull. And you know what I'm talking about, what happened.
Yes, yes. Wow, that is an amazing run. 31 years. And you're not old. You could be there another 20 something years. And what is the audience like? Is it a young generation to older? Is it mostly older? Because, you know, I'm amazed. I talk to a lot of young people, and I have a lot of young friends that are not that I'm older, younger than me. And, you know, it's amazing how they know of Dean, and they know of Frank Sinatra. They know of all these people. So what is your audience like?
My audience it ranges from, just like you said, young to old. I will admit that a lot of my audience members are retired, but they want and they know particulars. They don't want somebody that's not going to be the Frank Sinatra, Sammy Davis Jr.,
Right.
or the Dean Martin. They'll call you on it. They will call you on it because they're smart. They know. But the age range is changing because they're finding this music. They're smart. They're a smart young crowd. And and what's nice is that it's a resurgence of this type of music. And I've done many corporate events, from the Gaylord to Marriott's and Atlantic City, Las Vegas. I've been brought out there to do that. Minneapolis, Valparaiso. I've been very blessed. I played at the Fontainebleau. I've got several requests to do that again 3 times. And you know, you get that excitement that, you know, they come up and they I want a picture with you, Dean. What greater joy is that?
Exactly. And why do you think there is a resurgence in this music? I mean, you know, it was the 50s, and you're right. It does seem like it's coming back. It's like vinyl is coming back. It's really something how people love that music. And in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, don't you believe also that's when music was music?
I concur with you totally, Mark, because I mean, look at Michael Bublé. I like Michael Bublé.
Oh yes, fantastic performer.
You know, and he's gotten his own style and stuff like that. So people are finding that, and I think they're playing it because it's around the holidays. It creates joy. It the older people, the older parents or the grandparents are telling them about this. They discover it, just like my kids. I have triplet girls, and you know, oh Dad, you're singing Dean again, oh Dad. But they love it. They embrace it. And they're discovering new things, but they also love all the music that I grew up with, 60s, 70s, 80s, and a little bit of 90s. But you know, I do live in the past, but that's what they play. That's what's on their instruments and their technology, and you gotta just love it. You gotta love it because they're playing every time, Mark. Every year, I'll tell you, around Christmas time. I always and Dean Martin's daughter Dina, we've chatted online about this, and she's actually a friend. And if they could do that, if they could friend me on my Facebook, Mark, with you, I'd appreciate it.
Yes,
but it's an old number, and I always get interviewed around Christmas. Is "Baby, It's Cold Outside."
One of my favorite carols.
Yeah, but you know the old number too, and it creates controversy, if you know what.
Oh yes,
But
yes.
it's just a number. They didn't mean anything by it back then, and it's still a wonderful number today.
Exactly. Now, when you do your shows on stage, how long are they usually? How long are you up there performing?
Well, that depends on the client. I would say usually it's about 90 minutes of the Las Vegas type show. You get a break. People have to go pee and get up, you know, but they have to go, and it's about a normal time. Sometimes I do about 3 or 4 hours easy, and you know, I go through the whole gamut of songs and jokes and stuff like that. It's great to do all the jokes too, because I'll tell you, you know, my mother-in-law is living at the house now.
Oh,
Did you? She's 96 years old.
wow.
Doesn't need glasses. Drinks it straight out of the bottle.
Her doctor is Jack Daniels, right?
Well, that's Frank. That's Frank's favorite number. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let me ask you, if Dean was around today and he was sitting in the audience watching you, what do you think he would say?
He would say, I need to be singing with you, Pally. But you're doing a fabulous job. And I think if I can do this more, it's just regenerating that type of music, Mark. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I'm thinking I'm keeping it going.
Mhm.
What do you think?
Yes, that was my question. Is that one of the reasons you're doing this? Do you enjoy that era? And it was a fantastic era for entertainment. Are you just trying to keep it up, keep it going?
I do it because I love it.
Mhm.
I love it so much. I enjoy singing all of his numbers in every way. Sometimes I'll put it out there for them. I said, give me a challenge, name a number, and they'll say something, and I can sing it, and they go crazy. They go nuts because there's a lot of numbers that he recorded on Reprise and Capitol. Reprise was a company that Sinatra started, and of course Sammy and Dean were they were wonderful by signing up with him. No, Frank and Dean were very instrumental in the civil rights movement.
Mhm.
Did you know that? You knew that.
Yes, yes.
They would not, if Sam wasn't able to stay at the same hotel that they were at, they were going to perform,
Mhm.
and that was amazing. But they also did some jokes that I can never do today.
Mhm.
You know, can't do some of that joke, but it was that era. It was that time.
Yeah, yeah. Now, can I put you on the spot for a second? Can you sing a couple of bars of whatever song of your choice?
Well, what do you want to hear? Because I know them all.
Well, my
I know,
favorite is
I don't know,
Everybody Loves
but
Some. Everybody Loves Somebody. That's my favorite song. Can you do a few
okay.
bars?
Ken Lane wrote that, and that hit the top charts and knocked off the Beatles at the #1. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
And
And
he sent
that is saying something to knock the Beatles off the charts.
absolutely, but he also sent a telegram to Elvis, and he said, "If you can't knock them off, I will."
Mhm.
So everybody loves somebody sometime. Everybody falls in love somehow. Something in your kiss just told me my sometime is now. Right here with Mark Little.
Wow, excellent. Excellent. Just like listening to Dean.
Thank you. I didn't have my, you know.
Fabulous.
Anyway.
Now, let me ask you, what does the future hold for you? I know you're doing Universal, you're going to Valparaiso, you're doing venues around the country. Anything else in the works? Have you ever done any CDs? Have you recorded anything?
I have done some of that stuff, but you know, you're dealing with the licensing stuff.
Oh yeah,
even though I get blessings from the estate and everything, that's still a different monster, a different thing. Even Dina has problems trying to record something with her own father. They won't let her.
Yeah.
And you know, it's what it is. But as a tribute artist, you got free reign because you're just giving back to the public what they want to hear, what they want to see. And you know, I've been blessed. You know, I've got several shows that are lined up in requests in 2024. Well, I hope you know. And I'm doing the Fountain Blues several times, the Valparaiso. Cliff Ryan brought me in there, and just a beautiful venue. It brings you back to a sweet time. The whole city itself, they treat me like a big star, and something impressive. I have I've been approached by several things for I can't say his name, very famous NBC, but because I work for NBC, and it was a contest for the best tribute artist. I had to decline because of legal issues. Would love to what it was, but can't do it.
Oh, I know. Most people don't realize all the legalities in this entertainment business.
Yes. And I'll tell you something. I've been very blessed by a manager of mine, Betsy Bayram, if I can do a shout out for her.
Yes.
She's contracts and runs things for me. And we're on top of everything. So we try to get something back to the requests for the clients right away, because they want answers right away. You know, Mark, you know how it is.
Oh, yes. And let me ask you, when your time comes to leave this world, like we all are one of these days, do you want to be remembered as Dean Martin? What do you want on your tombstone?
Well, that would be a very nice honor. I would like to be known as a loving father and a wonderful tribute artist to a very great man, Dean Martin. Yes, that would be great. But it's also going to be in a. I want to go and be buried in Fort Snelling as a honored U.S. Navy veteran too.
Well, anyway, Felix, it was wonderful having you on the show. I don't know if I should call you Felix or Dean. I'm telling you, I'm looking at Dean.
Well, I am honored, Mark, that you were able to bring me on your beautiful show.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much. I know the viewers are going to like you. You definitely are doing a tribute to an icon. I think Dean Martin, one of the greatest guys around, and all the best and much continued success to you.